Coming up on this special edition of the Final Score, we're here at the Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte for the 107th PGA Championship. Some drama on the final day. Could the world's top golfer Scottie Scheffler hang on? And a big day for some former Greenville football stars in the UFL. We'll show you who balled out when the Final Score tees off from Charlotte coming up next. Welcome into this special edition of the Final Score here from the Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, the site of the 107th PGA Championship. I'm Zach Kaplan. So much of the talk entering the competition this week surrounded what the course didn't provide golfers, as much of a test as they see in other majors, maybe not as interesting as other majors, but this final round certainly entertained. Some of the world's best were put to the test. Scottie Scheffler was the leader after 54 holes at Quail Hollow, the world #1 golfer. For much of the front nine, it looked like the drama would be minimal as Scottie saves par on the par 4th, 5th hole, but around the turn for Jon Rahm, he began to heat up. The Spaniard with the birdie on the par 4 8th to draw within 3 shots of the lead. On the par 5 10th, he notches another birdie and moves to 8 under for the tournament. Meanwhile, Scottie trying to save par to close his front nine, but he cannot get the putt to fall, so it's Rahm with an opportunity on 11 to draw even with Scheffler, and he capitalizes. The two were dead even at 9 under par for the tournament. Rahm, a 2-time major champion himself, and it was on. The world's #1 player picks himself up, though, on the 10th. Scottie with a birdie putt, and he regains the outright lead to start the back nine. He extended to a 2-shot lead with another birdie on 14, and by doing so, putting the pressure on Rahm to match. After a bogey on 16, Rahm goes right at the flag on the downhill par 3 17th, but it skips left off the green and into the water, clearing the way for Scottie. He added another birdie on 15 for insurance and sinks this putt on the 18th green to become the 2025 PGA champion. It's the 3rd major win for Scheffler after winning the 2022 and 2024 Masters, while Rahm is left to wonder what might have been a year after being put in handcuffs at last year's PGA Championship at Valhalla in Louisville. The 28-year-old Scheffler is halfway to a career Grand Slam and remains at the top of his game and the sport.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of happiness. I think maybe thankful as well. I mean, it was a long week. I felt like this was as hard as I've battled for a tournament in my career. I mean, this was a pretty challenging week. I mean, the first 2 days I did not swing at my best. I was able to post a score somehow, and outside of the last 5 holes yesterday, that's where I really kind of put myself ahead in the tournament.
So congrats once again to Scheffler on his 3rd major championship win. Meanwhile, in the UFL on Sunday, local ties all over the place as the Arlington Renegades and DC Defenders faced off. Starting with JH Rose grad Cornell Powell, who balled out for DC, catching a pair of touchdown passes, the former Chief, helping out his squad, and former Pirate head coach Skip Holtz. And on the other side, Holton Ahlers entered the game in a goal line situation for Arlington, and he just ekes the ball over the pile for his first touchdown in the pros. Ultimately, DC does get the win 33-30, but really cool to see a pair of local guys, J.H. Rose and D.H. Conley, both represented, balling out at the next level. Speaking of Pirates in the pros, another day, another dinger for Alec Burleson as he opened the scoring in Sunday's game of the I-70 rivalry series between St. Louis and Kansas City with another home run. It's his 4th in the last 2 calendar weeks as Burley continues to heat up. Burleson now hitting over 300 in the month of May as well. Meanwhile, his former team ended the regular season with a loss in Tampa Saturday as Pirate baseball fell 6-5 to South Florida, dropping the series to the Bulls. The Pirates closed the regular season at 29-25 overall and now get ready to play in the AAC tournament on Tuesday. They will take on, how about it, South Florida as they get right back at it on Tuesday night. Here's a look at the full list of matchups for the first round on Tuesday down in Clearwater at the AAC tournament. It's Tulane and FAU in the 4-5 game to get things going at 9 a.m. Rice and UTSA in the 1-8 matchup to follow. On the other side of the bracket, Wichita State and Charlotte face off at about 4 o'clock, while East Carolina and South Florida will close out the day. And of course, the winners of those last 2 games, the winner of the ECU South Florida game is the winner of Wichita State and Charlotte. The losers face off, and we'll see how things go down in Clearwater. All right, still to come on this edition of the Final Score, the Carolina Hurricanes are getting ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. And we'll check in as they take a few days off before the series gets underway Tuesday night. And the high school playoffs roll into the Eastern Finals for baseball and softball this week. We check in with the teams in our area left standing when we come back. Welcome back to the ice now. The Carolina Hurricanes are on to the Eastern Conference Finals as the series gets underway Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Will be games 1, 2, and 3 coming up this week. Carolina back on the ice at the Lenovo Center on Sunday. You can cue all the debates about rest versus rust as the Florida-Toronto series on the other side went the full 7 games. But for the Canes, they will take the rest this time of year as they prepare for a tough series regardless of opponent this week, and they sit 4 wins away from playing for the Stanley Cup.
We're halfway, so there's still a lot left. We're really focused on how we're doing and what we're doing, and you know we're pretty healthy. I think we feel good about how we played in that series and how we can do going forward.
I mean, I think everyone's just excited again for another opportunity. It's you don't get here often, and I've been lucky enough to have some good runs early in my career. But this is this is special, and I think everyone's super excited for it.
And what a week it was for local high school baseball and softball in our area. In all, we'll have 4 teams facing off in the Eastern Regional Finals, which get underway this week. Let's start with J.H. Rose Baseball as the Rampants have continued to live dangerously in the 3A playoffs. Their last 3 playoff wins have come by a combined 4 runs over Wilson Hunt and then North and South Brunswick. They will face Terry Sanford in the 3A Eastern Finals. Ronald Vincent's team certainly comfortable in close games, and they hope that will propel them to play for a state title.
This crowd of seniors, you know, they've played a lot of ball. They've been in a lot of big games. They, it says a lot. You know, we got it in the heart, and they keep it like that, and they play hard. You win these close games like this, and it gives you confidence going into the next thing, and the next one's going to be tough too.
How about South Lenore in the 2A ranks? The Blue Devils continue to excel in difficult road tests. A perfect 9-0 away from deep run on the season after South clinched the East Central 2A title at rival North Lenore on May 1st. They've now upset 3-seed Whiteville and 2-seed Bunn to punch their ticket to the 2A Eastern Finals. They'll actually get home field advantage for the series as they face 13-seed Midway, who's killed a couple of Giants on their run to the Eastern Finals. As for softball, Wayne Deans and 4-seed D.H. Conley are in the 4A Eastern Finals. After defeating Apex Friendship 6-2 on Thursday, they turned around and upset the top seed Wake Forest 1-0 on the road on Friday. The Vikings will get 3-seed Cleveland in their 4A Eastern Finals. If Kendall Howard can continue to excel in the circle for Conley, the sky's the limit for the Vikings. And in the 2A ranks, 15-seed North Lenore have been road warriors in their own right, 11-1 away from LaGrange this season, including an upset over the 3-seed Martin County in the 4th round, punching their ticket to the 2A Eastern Finals, where they will get 4-seed South Granville, an impressive run for Colby Miller's Hawks as they try to secure the 2nd softball state title in school history. Their first one came back in 2005. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap up this edition of The Final Score. Welcome back. As always, we wrap up with our play of the week. Let's go back to D.H. Conley baseball from Thursday night. What a comeback for the Vikings, trailing 6-0. They score 7 runs in the final 2 innings, capped off by this Ethan Metis RBI single to walk it off, defeating Pinecrest 7-6. Their season did come to an end on Saturday at the hands of Corinth Holders, but what a year they had, finishing the season at 25-2 overall. Still a lot to be proud of, certainly for Conley baseball over at the Hollywood Crossroads. That's going to do it for this special edition of The Final Score here from the Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, where once again Scotty Scheffler is the winner of the 107th PGA Championship. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next time.